Hey there, I'm here today to do a quick check-in to talk about week 2 of the March of the Mammoths readathon. Week 2 is definitely going to be my best week of reading for this whole month since I was off. It's March break, so I didn't have to work and I had 9 whole days where I didn't have that much going on and I had a lot of time to read and make some serious progress in my books. So I just wanted to quickly catch you up with how things have been going. So just recently I've posted the results of my 24-hour reading vlog. Since I did have quite a few days off, I thought it would be a fun experiment to try to see how much I could read in 24 hours. So I filmed that video on a Sunday, and I'm also filming this video today on a Sunday. So this is taking place 1 week after my 24-hour readathon, which was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I tried that experiment, but the only downside to it was that it actually slowed down my reading for like the next 2 days. So I did get to make a good dent into my books during those 24 hours, but over the next 2 days I was like trying to catch up on my sleep, and then I was also less motivated to spend a lot of my time reading. So it did slow me down a bit and put me behind where I wanted to be. But by the time it was Wednesday, I was finally able to get back into the routine and to start making some serious progress on these books. So here is where I'm at right now in these books. So the first one, The Luminaries by Eleanor Cadden. If you've been following my March of the Mammoths videos, you know that this is the one that I've been kind of struggling to get started with. This is the one that I am not choosing to read the most, and that pattern has definitely continued throughout the whole week. I'm only on page 284, which is like a nice good sized dent. There's nothing wrong with 300 pages, but I still have 500 more pages to go. However, I'm not really all that concerned. I am enjoying the book. I'm definitely more interested in the story than when I just started. I am enjoying it, and it's a lot of a quicker, more fast-paced read than the other books that I'm reading, but I'm not too worried about finishing this one. I think this is going to be the kind of book where the pacing will just continue to increase, and by the time I get to the end, I think I'll be flying through this one. It's just not the one that I've been choosing to reach for the most, but it's not a knock against this book. It's just that I've been reading some other really fabulous stuff that take a bit more work than this one does. So didn't reach the halfway point for this one, but I still have made a good dent into it. And then following that, we have The Brontes by Juliet Barker. This is the one that I've been calling my slow and steady read. It's not a book that I've been binging or addicted to reading, but I've been trying to get through about 30 pages a day. That's about one chapter. I've been finding that really nice. And this one I'm on page 452, so I have made it past the halfway point for this one, which means that I'm on track to finish if I can keep reading my 30 pages a day. And this is another book that just continues to pick up as it moves along. Now the Bronte children are growing up, they have jobs, there's more happening, and I think very soon the Bronte sisters are going to start publishing their novels, and I'm so excited to read about their process as they're writing these novels and the reactions to these novels. So this is one that I'm only getting more interested in as it continues along. And then lastly, we've got our big Bessie, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. So my copy of this book is 1,416 pages, and I'm really happy to say that I've only got 80 pages left to go. On one hand, I'm getting very excited to finish. This is such a beastly book to work your way through that to see the end in sight just seems like a really big deal. But on the other hand, I know that I'm going to be really sad when this one is over because this book is just so wonderful and it's such a rich and immersive reading experience that you just don't come across very often. So in that way, I know that it's going to be really sad when it's all over. I've grown really attached to the characters and the story, and I don't really want to let it go. So part of me wants to like savor those last 80 pages, but I really need to see how this is going to end. And I'm also worried because where I'm at right now, I feel like the plot is at like a very nice, happy ending kind of moment, but there are still like 80 pages. So I have a feeling it's not just going to be 80 pages of nice things happening. Like there's probably some drama that has yet to unfold itself. So like who knows what's going to happen with the end of this book, but I've just been really enjoying the experience. I've been loving where the story is going. I had some doubts near the middle of the book. You can see that in my reading vlog. I was kind of unsure of the direction that it was going in at the start of book 3, but then Hugo introduced this like criminal underbelly belly element, and that just really sucked me in. So really from that point on, I've just been loving it. Last night I got to read the infamous scene set in the sewers, and it was just wonderful. I loved every minute of it. I really can't believe that this is going to be ending so soon. I know it's going to be a bittersweet experience because I'm excited to be free again with my life, but at the same time, I know I'm going to miss it. I have spent so much time reading this book, especially over the past week. I had a lot of doubts as to whether I could finish this one over my holiday, and believe me, a lot of work went into it. Like, I was not skimming anything, I didn't skip any of the digressions, and I didn't try to race through it quickly. Like, I took my time, I read it slow, I read all of the annotations at the back, and I was keeping my own notes, so I really tried my best with this one, and I'm just loving it. So tonight, before I go to bed, I will be finishing it, and I will have my freedom again. So I'm so glad that I picked this one, though. Week 2 was amazing because of this book. So what does week 3 look like? I will definitely be continuing on reading 30 pages a day of the Brownies. I will also be continuing working my way through the Luminaries. And I also think, since there are still 2 weeks left of this readathon, that I might be able to try to squeeze in a 4th Mammoth. So I know that that's a little crazy, but that is just where my mind is going. So I'll let you know what I'm thinking about at this point right now. I think my likeliest candidate for a book that I'm going to pick up is Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman. I had so many people leaving amazing comments about this one in my TBR video that they really sold me on it. And there was also someone in particular who left a comment that this would be cool to read around the same time as Les Mis, since they're both about societies who went through these intense revolutions, and they're kind of about the aftermaths of those revolutions. So I think that that could be a cool comparison. I also like reading Russian books more in the winter seasons, and in Canada right now, the end of March, we're saying goodbye to winter. So I think that this would really be my last chance to pick up this book in the winter time. So I am very tempted to pick this one up, although I have heard it is a bit on the depressing side. The other book that I'm considering is a true novel by Minae Mizumura. I'm thinking about reading this one because it is like a modern Japanese retelling of Wuthering Heights, and I am reading the book about the Brownies, so there is kind of that connection. The other thing that's really attracting me to this book is that my edition is actually split in 2, so these are just like 2 normal-sized books that when you add them together make up a mammoth-sized book, and I have really missed just normal-sized paperbacks that don't cause major damage to my wrist and lower back when I'm reading them. So it could be kind of nice to have a nice light book again, but then also part of me thinks, like, is that cheating? You know, should I stick to like the really giant massive books that I'm more afraid of? So I'm thinking that I'm pretty much 90% sure that I'm going to read Life and Fate, but who knows what I'm going to be feeling by the middle of the week. So I'll let you know in my next update video what I decided on. So that's it for my update of week 2. Please let me know down below how the readathon is going so far for you. Have you been making some progress? Are you still having fun? Are you still excited about the last 2 weeks? Or have you encountered some challenges or difficulties? I'd love to know what's going on. Please let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!